Capricorn, how are you? I'm going to do a reading for your current energies. As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you, I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really makes a difference to my channel. And if you want to help me out, that's how you can help me out. All right, let's see what is going on for the next 7 to 10 days for all of my Cappies. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Capricorn, always. I feel like I got to give it one more shuffle. Then we'll cut this deck and see what is going on with all of you. All right, first card out for you is the Magician. Yay, I like that energy. The Magician, is you being able to make things happen. All right, you have all the power, you have all the tools, you have the intuition, you have what it takes, all right, to manifest what it is you need right now. So keep that in mind for this week. Now, if you are in a situation where you are dealing with other people here, we've got the Magician and we've got, this Five of Swords. Now, there could be some arguments that come up. There could be something that, has been going on for a while because we do have the Six of Swords here in the recent past. So with the Six of Swords, if we want to move to a place of, a little bit more calm, a little bit more peace, and move away from these troubled waters that you have been in, you may need to go back and really kind of stand up for yourself. And, if that's the case, you have the ability, to really make it happen to your benefit. All right, because again, we have, the Six of Wands here, which is a sense of victory. This is at the root of what's going on. So I think it's time for you to stand up. I think it's time for you, to let people know where you stand and how you feel, because you no longer want to be in this place where you've been suffering, where you've been struggling, where, things have been really, really hard. And, with the Six of Swords, it being in your past, I feel like you've been really thinking about this and knowing that what you need to do is to fight, but you've been putting it off. I think this is one of these weeks where you may need to actually make that happen so that, you can clear your slate, so that you can clear the direction that you want to move in and you want to move away from all of this trouble. Now, there is a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety that goes along with this decision. Like I said, this is one of these things where in your mind, you know what you want to do, and it's going to require you to, have this argument or have this thing that you have to say. And, you sit on the fence as to whether or not you should do this. All right. And I say that because we have the Two of Pentacles here above you, and we have the Knight of Swords in the near future. So it's like, you need to do this. You need to say what you need to say. You need to make this change, because here's those troubled waters again. All right. They're really kind of swarming back there. And you're in this place where you just want to get out of this. For some of you, it could be around, just stress around money, around work, around, trying to keep everybody happy. You just can't. But you're really sitting on the fence. I was like, I know what I need to do. I'm just afraid to do it. And here we have the Fool card coming in reverse. I mean, you are resistant on making this move, for fear of, doing something that you might regret. All right. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I mean, honestly, you do have the energy of the Magician here. And I just feel as if, if you want to move in a direction that is going to improve your life, but you're holding back because of other people, then you need to start to look at that, because we can't do things for others if it's going to mean that I'm not going to be happy. So you're in a place of I just don't know what to do. Here's that anxiety. But you're at the point where you have to end it, right? Because the card that follows this 9 is that 10. And it's just like, if I am going to make this shift, if I'm going to make this change, it's going to be upsetting to a lot of people. But is it going to be what you need? I mean, is it about other people, or is it about what, what they want from you? we have the Hermit coming in reverse. You need to really think about this, all right? And if you are wanting to do something that, you know, people are just not going to support, why is it that they're not going to support it, you know? So now we have to look at like, well, maybe I'm not doing the right thing, you know? So, I mean, it can go one way or the other, you know? It's just like, you know that where you are right now, you are not happy. And you know, if you continue to go in this vein, I think the anxiety is only going to continue. And here we have the 10 of Swords coming in reversed. I mean, you're really stressed. We have now the 9 and we have the 10. And it's just like, you know that if you don't do this, it's going to continue to be a problem. All right, whatever this is that you are dealing with. And I feel like it's just the need for you to move away from a situation that is not healthy for you. You know, but if you're going to stay in it, it's going to continue to not be healthy for you. You know, but it's that break, you know, it's just like that moment that you have to make this move. And then all of a sudden, all of the thoughts of, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have, maybe I should have stayed. Maybe, you know, again, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, you know, and it's just like, you need to really think about what it is that's going to be best for you. If you're in a situation that it's just not going to change, and you know that, then you are the one that's going to have to make the change. And the Hermit says, you know, you've got a lot of wisdom. You've got, you know, you've been through a lot, you know, so you need to start tapping in on what you know internally that you need to do. Now, the final outcome here is the 7 of Swords coming in reversed. And below that 10 of Swords, we have the 9 of Wands, all right? So I feel like at some point, you just need to cut the cord. I mean, you put in so much energy and so much effort to try to make something work, you know, and all it's done is given you a lot of trouble. You've done everything you can to try to make things balance, right? But things are only getting worse with these waves getting bigger. You know, here, you know, you're in the troubled waters, and here, if it continues, the waves get bigger and the trouble gets bigger. And, you know, you can't sleep at night. I mean, it's really, you know, it's wreaking havoc on your psyche here, you know, and the fact that, you know, you don't want to leave, you know, with everybody mad at you. Listen, this isn't about being popular. This is about you moving into a place that is going to be more emotionally stable for you, you know, and you not wanting to be the one to cause trouble, or you don't want to be the one, you know, that it's your fault and things get pointed back at you. You know, is that really enough to keep you in a place where it's so hard and so painful? You know, because now it's about the other person and not about you. And you have the Magician. You have everything that you need to take this chance, to make this move, to make this break, except the courage, you know, to stand up and have this conversation that you know is not going to go very well. They're not going to be very open. They're not going to be very receptive to your ideas, to your thoughts. But at the same time, you cannot continue in this place of being so stressed and so hurt and not knowing what to do. I mean, it's starting to affect you in other ways. You know, it affects you, you know, with your sleep. Now you're not functioning properly during the day. You know, people are, you know, probably sensing that there's something up. You know, it's time for you to really take the moment that you need to sit quiet with yourself and really focus on this light right here, all right? The Hermit is shining this light in the direction that you know you need to take. But you know, you need to really sit down and really find the solution, find the words. You know, you want to say the right things, you know, so that as time goes by and you're having this conversation, you know, that they can think about the words that you say it with clarity, you know, so that you are really understood. So a rough week for you, Capricorn, you know, but it's one of those where it's reached a point where you now need to really make some concrete decisions, because you can't continue and pretend that you can go in this vein any longer. That 6 of Swords is really asking that, you know, we kind of move away from this energy, you know, and we find a sense of peace within our lives again. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Capricorn. Take a deep breath, you know, ground yourself. Know that you have that inner wisdom. I mean, you are a very, very wise sign, you know. So trust that the direction that you need to take is the one that you have to fight for. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Capricorn. Take what works, leave what doesn't. All right, hit that like button, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you all at the next reading. Until then, be happy, be healthy, be kind. Bye now.